인공지능 사업가.
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man.
Yo.
Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Los Angeles to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
I'm an AI.
AI. And are you a business owner?
Yeah.
How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Man, I started my first business 11 years ago.
Over these 11 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
40 million.
$40 million.
Yeah.
As an 8-figure entrepreneur, man, what's the best financial advice you'd give to the younger generation today?
Don't ask for a salary. For the love of God, don't ask for fucking salaries. That's such a pussy move to make. You are ride or die commission only. If you didn't make that money, you don't deserve to eat. Right? But if you make them $1 million, you deserve half that. That's the kind of deals you need to be making. 50% commissions if I make you over like 100 grand this month. How about that? Can I do that? Can I make you 100 grand, please? Those are the kind of deals because then it's no risk to them. Fuck a salary. That's how you get stuck in a dead-end situation. You have to do proper deals, commission only, take the risk, ride or die. You don't deserve to eat if you don't make money, and that's what's going to incentivize your skill set to make you the best that you can be.
Have you ever been broke before?
Bro, I used to eat top ramen and Pop-Tarts, breakfast, lunch, and dinner from having my 7 software business flail into the ground. I would eat it in the bathroom because I didn't want my neighbors to see me eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because that's all I could afford, bro. I've got evicted twice, got my car repossessed once. I had one day, I was sleeping on my friend's floor. I had nothing but $20, a suitcase, a laptop, and a moped. And on that day, my scooter got stolen. No job. Bro, begging the Chase bank attendant to take $40 because I was negative $80 in my bank account. And I was trying to tell him to wipe it even so I'd stop getting these fees. It's the fucking real deal. Yeah. But, dude, that's life, man. That's life.
For somebody who may be at rock bottom right now, what is an actionable step that they can really take? Like, what's your best self-improvement advice to somebody out there?
I read like 200 books on sales and business and the subconscious mind. Last book I ever read before my life took off, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. The idea that you control your reality a little bit more than everyone else thinks you do. Manifesting, it's the real deal. And that book was the last thing I read before I met my mentors that took it all off.
What's the most amount of money that you've lost in a single year?
95% of all the money that I made when I sold my skincare brand went out the window.
What keeps people broke in today's world?
Friends. Bro, friends easy, dog. I heard that quote, you are the average of your 5 closest friends. I'm like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I look at my friends, all broke entrepreneurs. I'm like the 6th broke entrepreneur hanging out in the crew of broke entrepreneurs. Nothing against my friends, but I wanted to make $1,000 a day on the internet. Who am I hanging out with making $1,000 a day? Nobody, right? So I went on a side quest. I started a mastermind group. I'm going to put together 5 guys who are making $1,000 a day, doing native advertising, affiliate marketing, different industries, so we're not competing. And through that group, my skill set started to explode. And through that group is actually how I met my mentors. That kicked it all off for me.
That shit was great, bro. That shit was phenomenal, bro.
부동산 중개 사업가.
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your G-Wagon?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out in Los Angeles to be able to afford a G-Wagon?
I own a real estate brokerage.
You own a real estate brokerage?
Yeah.
It's like, how long have you been a business owner for?
Business owner for 8 years. Real estate industry, 19.
19 years. And over these 19 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
A little over $8 million.
$8 million. And how old were you when you became a millionaire?
23 years old.
I go all over the country just asking business owners their advice to young entrepreneurs. Is it cool if we ask you a few questions outside of the car?
That's cool.
Awesome, man. Let's run it. How can somebody own a G-Wagon in today's world?
Buy a property, rent it out, then buy a second one. Buy a house every year for 4 years. By the 5th year, between the passive income, take that money and put it into a monthly payment of your G-Wagon.
That's the game right there.
And that's what it is.
That's all
right?
it is. Yeah.
That way you don't have to ever worry about making a payment because you're tenants to it.
Is that your secret to creating wealth in real estate?
Yeah. Buy assets, hold assets, take the income, build businesses, rinse and repeat.
As a business owner that's been able to scale this big business, how important was it for you learning how to delegate? There's a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to be that solopreneur, wear all the hats themselves. How important was it for you bringing in the right people?
Going back to my earlier days, the exposure that I had with that entrepreneur that I went to work for at 15, he did absolutely nothing. I mean, if anything, he went in there and he had conversations with his leadership team for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then he just enjoyed his day every single day. Every single facet of everything within the organization from A to Z was managed by another human. That's how you scale, but you have to have it with the right people. So the ability of hiring the right people, onboarding the right people, and keeping the right people, that's the trade that you learn over time. You're not going to learn that in school. You might have to have some errors and some loss of money, maybe some failures, but that's what separates the people that make it really big and the people that don't, that have some failure at the beginning and then they end up just saying, it's not worth it. I'm just going to do it myself, be a contractor, do the A to Z, open up the store, lock it up, cashier, make the coffee.
What was the #1 book that changed your life?
There's a book by John D. Rockefeller that's 38 letters to his son.
Why was John D. Rockefeller so successful?
Because he was ruthless. He was relentless. If he was in a territory where there was competitors, he would bleed them to death and he would take them on board. And if there was talented people in those companies, he would hire and bring them on board. I mean, he monopolized his industry. Something that's never been done since then for obvious reasons. Good reasons too.
What was the best financial decision that you made throughout your career?
Buying a house. I bought my first house at 19. Since then, I bought over 125, maybe close to 130 now.
How many properties do you own?
Today I own 26, 34 doors
Incredible, man.
in Los Angeles.
That is phenomenal, man. Thank you so much for your time.
스포츠 기업가.
Industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Sports and entertainment.
And how long have you been in the business for?
35 years.
Over these last 35 years, what has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
$34 million.
$34 million. And what happened that year that you were able to make over $30 million?
Real estate boom.
Yeah?
Yeah, real estate doubled.
Right.
And so all the real estate that I had doubled in 1 year. And ironically, what follows a great increase follows a great decrease. And it was just a few years later that I lost over $100 million.
That's incredible. What happened that year that you lost $100 million?
I learned that lesson, ask for help. So I had a huge line of credit at my private bank. And in 2008, when I needed about $5 million, even though I had a $40 million line of credit, very quickly I realized when I walked in and they said, hey, nobody told you you have a cap of $1 million line, you got to reapply. And in 2008, it was much more difficult to get the lines of credit that were necessary. And so when you have a huge economy, an economy that can afford you 30-some million dollars in 1 year, things move very fast. And that's how I ended up losing everything. If I just would have asked for help from someone that actually knew financing, knew banking, I could have really done well. And I'd be sitting in an entirely different situation now. I lost it everything and made it back, but I would have had about 10 times as much if I just would have asked for help.
What's the number one mistake you see business owners make?
They don't know the golden rule of business, which is stay in business. See, the first rule that I have every day, and I have the biggest waiting room in the history of waiting rooms. There's about 65,000 seats in my waiting room, so things are going well. But the reason they're going well is because I have one rule: make sure I'm in business tomorrow. And so once I started following that directive, I'll never go out of business because I'm not going to sleep until I guarantee I'm in business tomorrow. Everything else is gravy because I know if I stay in business, sooner or later, if you learn to love what you don't love or don't like, if you learn to love what other people don't love or like, if you do it consistently and persistently every day, life and business will tell you all its cheat codes. It'll tell you all its secrets. And when you know the secrets, this game is easy, but you got to be in the game. So you got to guarantee that you're playing the game, which is why the number one rule in business is to make sure every day you stay in business.
Among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
Consistency. It's a simple skill, but the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do. You see, people that do things every day allow for the physics, metaphysics, and quantum physics to work in their favor. If you do something every single day, it accelerates, it aggregates, and it creates exponentiality of outcomes. Consistency is the number one habit. It's actually the habit machine of habits, but you have to be consistent. In fact, 2 minutes a day is worth 2 hours on a Saturday.
Break that down. Why is that?
Energy is behavior, and so is money, for example. So even as far back as Einstein, when he explained the rule of 72, compounding of interest, it's really compounding of energy. See, energy has three characteristics. It aggregates, it attracts like energy, it accelerates so things happen faster, but most importantly, it creates compound interest. It creates exponentiality. So people that are not utilizing that consistency, they get 1 + 1 + 1 every day. Those people that understand the physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics get 1 + 2 + 4 + 8 + 16 each day.
I love it.
반드시 기억하세요. 1. 위험을 감수하고 죽을 각오로 돈을 못 벌면 밥도 먹지 마라. 2. 내가 만들고 싶은 것을 함께 만들 사람들을 찾아라. 3. 금융과 은행을 잘 아는 사람에게 도움을 청해라. 4. 절대로 내가 정한 분야를 떠나지 말고 게임을 계속해라. 5. 내가 매일 일관성 있게 하는 일이 나를 자유롭게 만들 것이다.